Alright YouTubers, what's going on? Looking at another knife today. Today we're looking at the Dauntless MK4. This is the latest and greatest. Does have some increased has some new features for the MK4. It's on bearings now instead of washers. Extremely smooth. The handles are more contoured. Other than that, very similar. It has kind of a bead blasted finish, pretty heavy bead blast, so it does get some snail trails on the titanium pretty easy. Kind of wish they would have gone with a stonewash finish or even sandblasted, but you know, it's still a good finish. It's just, you know, I kind of like the way it looks good. I have your deep carry pocket clip. This one is the OD green G10, obviously, and the backspacer here is a black G10 backspacer. So the Dauntless has been one that's been on my radar for a long time, and this is the kind of knife that kind of blurs the line. Is it a production knife? Is it a mid-tech? You know, it's designed by Tad and made by someone else, so I would consider that to be a mid-tech, but it's not a custom maker either. It's just a designer, so I'm not sure, you know, where that falls, but it's a very well done knife. Not sure who makes them. They've never really disclosed who makes their mid-tech knives, but it's been one that's been on my radar for a long time, and I finally got one, and I like it quite a bit. Love that OD green G10, nice and smooth. You know, you have some fullers here, or just some milling there on the G10 for looks. Like the deep carry pocket clip. Got your stop pin there. And the blade is S35VN. Doesn't actually say that anywhere, but on their website it is. There's your little Tad logo there. And made in the USA. So they're made somewhere here in the US by who knows. But quality knife. Very smooth. Super fast deployment. I like the bearings quite a bit. I heard they're pretty smooth on washers too, but I just got a good deal on this one. I thought, you know what, it's an MK4, I'll pick it up, give it a review. It's actually been one of my favorite knives in my collection as of late. So, got your forward choil here, which I don't really get as much on this knife. It doesn't have a large blade by any stretch of the imagination. It's about 3 1/4 inches, so it's not really huge. Here's a Strider SNG for comparison. Kind of similar style with the forward choil and the shorter blade, you know, with that choil. But the Strider does have a little bit longer of a blade, about a 3 1/2 inch blade. So very similar design though. Even OD green, that was not on well, it was on purpose. I bought both of them, but so that forward choil kind of reminds me of the Strider SNG or the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. This is a pretty sweet one I just kind of put together. It's got the S110V blade on there with the titanium scales, copper backspacer. We'll do a little video on that one later, but also has a forward choil, but doesn't take much away from the blade, which I like more. I would rather have them, you know, made the blade just a little bit longer to give you a little bit more cutting edge than having that choil there, because it's not like it's a huge blade that it needs a choil, but you can see when you use that choil, you can do a lot of fine control work with this knife. So overall, it's an EDC knife though, so the forward choil doesn't really, I don't know, do it for me. Other than that, I really dig it. It's very smooth. Fit and finish is top notch. There's 0 lock stick, and there's no lock bar insert on this. Yet they've, you know, just the right geometry with the lock face there and the blade. You can have no lock stick. Wear over time, it's going to be a little bit more. You know, if you had the steel lock bar insert, that would be, I guess, better in that aspect because of that, you know, the wear over time on the lock face. But a lot of companies don't use steel lock bar inserts, and some are starting to go that way. Like all the Kaisers coming out have them now. The Riates have them, or Riat. All the new ZTs do. But a lot of companies like Spyderco, this is Sly's Bowie here, no lock bar, super easy to unlock. So, you know, it's just a thing. I don't know how much they're going to wear over time. I don't know that anyone's actually really ever figured that out. But so the Dauntless is a pretty sweet little blade. This gave me a pretty short overview. Weight-wise, what does this guy weigh? Let's see here. Bring out the old scale. It's pretty lightweight. It's a really good size for EDC. It fits my medium hands perfect. Really, really good ergonomics. Kind of melts in your hand. 4.1 ounces. Very lightweight too. I mean, it's just a good size for EDC. This is kind of like my wheelhouse lately of size. I really dig that size. Again, the Slice Bowie is about the same. The DPX Aculus, very similar. And I thought there's a Sebenza. It's about the size of a large Sebenza. The large Sebenza is a little bigger, but so it's, you know, a good medium to large size knife. I'd call it more of a medium size than large, but it is a just a fantastic folder. I recommend you picking one up. They can be found on the secondary market for really good deals, sub $300. You know, it is here made in the USA with good materials, titanium, S35 steel, nice stonewashing on the blade, and I dig that fuller here too, or blood groove, or whatever you want to call it. So overall, a great knife. Really dig it. Glad I picked one up. Always wanted one. This is the 4th generation, like I mentioned. The handles are more contoured on these than they have been previously, and it has, you can see that here, especially. It rounds out where the back spacer and the butt end of the knife here. And the G10 is really smooth and nice. It's not overly grippy, but it has grip. You know, it's one thing about this knife. And with that pocket clip, with a deep carry, it does not create a hot spot. So it's just a really, really comfortable, really good EDC knife. I mean, I could see this being one that you would carry, you know, every day and not rotate this one out, just because it would excel at a lot of things. So they did switch to a hollow grind on this one as well. So they did, you know, some updates to the MK4, and I think this is probably the best one that they've made yet. That's just my opinion. So, alright guys, just give me a short one today. Just looking at the TAD Dauntless MK4. I do recommend this knife. I give it a good thumbs up. For the cost, it's a, you know, like I said, it kind of blurs the line between production and mid-tech, so it's either a high-end production knife or a mid-tech. And if it's a mid-tech, the price is awesome. If it's a high-end production, it's just a little expensive. It's just kind of how it is. But it's less, you know, less than a Sebenza, which is a high-end production knife. It's about the same price as the Slice Bowie, which is a high-end production knife. So, you know, but if you compare it to like a mid-tech, it's a great deal. Like the Les George ESV here is going to cost you, you know, closer to $400, $450, even $500. So we'll do a video on this one too. This is a new acquisition. Alright guys, I think that's going to be it. Wrap it up for the video today. Any questions or comments on the TAD Dauntless MK4, leave them down below. We will see you on the next video.